Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode, another day of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad recently just had a leak about a screenshot, and it told a lot about what this game is. Now, is it a live service game? That is the question. That's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. So we do appreciate you coming out. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. We do a live show Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. We have different topics. We put it right up in the front here for you so you can just listen to this, and then we go in and talk to live chat afterwards and have a discussion with it. So please, if you're on this channel, please make sure you hit that like button. It helps push this video to other people that might like this as well. So what is Suicide Squads? I have two videos that I did about 2 months ago on this channel telling you, we broke down some trailers, we talked about what the description is, but today, or I should say last night, a 4chan came out and basically put a screenshot out and also gave information about the story. Now, we're not going to go over the story because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody in any way, shape, or form, but we are going to take the conversation of the screenshot. Now, I can't show the screenshot because I don't want WB to pull down my video in any way, shape, or form. So we're not going to show it. But if you would like to see that screenshot, you can go to our Discord. It's up there. You can check it out, and you can look at it as we talk about it. Okay. So first, I'm going to go over this little article. Okay. Now, this is from VGC. Now, fans slam Suicide Squad, kill the Justice League after game as a service leaks. Now, the highly anticipated Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been met with criticism from the fans after a leak showed the game's UI, which includes a glance into a battle pass, the currency, the store, and also the hero levels. Now, there's a lot of information, very little bits and pieces, but also at the exact same time, it shows very little, but it shows a lot on this screenshot. So, a forthcoming open-world action-adventure shooter called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will feature all your favorite DC bad guys, okay? Obviously, there's only 4 characters. We've had a conversation about this with games like this, with games like Marvel's, with games like Midnight Suns, anything with a superhero game, you want as many villains to fight or as many heroes to use. Now, this game, we're using anti-heroes. You're using Harley Quinn, you're using Deadshot, you're using King Shark, and you're using Boomerang. Is there going to be more? Don't know. But we're just a couple of months away, and we still don't know much about the rest of this game. So the screenshot comes out, and people are like, whoa, what is that? So DC and superhero fans are naturally ecstatic to see a game, especially after comparable games like Gotham Knights received poor reviews and also Marvel's Avengers. Now, what I like to say is that Marvel's Avengers, as much crap as Marvel's Avengers has been taken over the last couple of years, it's amazing how a game that came out so poorly has changed and been brought up so much to any other superhero game that comes out, right? Like, think about that, right? Before this, we had Batman Arkham series and we had the Spider-Man series, but all of a sudden, now we have Marvel's Avengers came out. People wanted to love this game. I played a lot of it. I did like it. I'll be honest. I did love it. I did love it. Okay, but it got old really quick, and I kind of pushed myself to keep playing it because I wanted a good superhero game. So now every game that comes out, if it has a superhero in it, it's compared to Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers screwed the pooch so bad, okay, with the live service aspect that any other game that comes out, we're like, whoa, don't do what Marvel's Avengers did, right? Gotham Knights came out, and it got poor reviews, not because of it not being a looter, not because of anything like that, because of 30 frames per second, okay, and the visual issues of it. Now, due to the recent leaks of the in-game menu that includes hints about the Battle Pass, the store, the cosmetics, the currency, and much more, okay, fans of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League appeared to be just as worried about this game as success as players, okay, as other past players of other games. Now, fan claims Suicide Squad's Kill the Justice League will now flop after the menu leak. Now, I don't know. I think that's a little bit hyperbolic, okay? I don't know if it'll flop because I'm excited still for the game. Can I make comparisons to the other past games of Marvel's Avengers and Gotham Knights? Sure can. I can also compare it to Destiny. I can also compare it to Division. I can also compare it to Warframe. I can also compare it to any other live service shooter game that's out there. Okay, so Kill the Justice League, or Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, quickly slamming the game for its design choices and its games as a service design. Now, one user went out and said that another superhero games a service game with a crap load of resources to grind. Now, highlighting the frustrations that many feel when exploring these type of games as a service, design encompassing of many new titles. So anytime there's a live service game that comes out, a lot of people are upset because it shows lots of resources, lots of things to go grind. Destiny makes you grind. Warfare makes you grind. Division makes you grind. Different variations of grind, okay? Now, some do it well. Some do it better than others. Some do it a lot worse than others, right? So the top tier right now, in my opinion, is Division 2. It respects the player's time. You can go grind and do what you want, get what you need, and get out. Other games like Destiny, other games like Marvel's Avengers, they make you grind something and grind again and do it again and do it again, and you still didn't get it, and do it again, right? So a lot of people are slamming it. So others are slamming the game's overall success, stating that it doesn't think, or they don't think the game is compelling enough to warrant a battle pass, right? Because there's a battle pass in this as well, highlighting the growing concern following the dwindling success similar to Gotham Knights and Marvel's Avengers. Now, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League looks exactly like Gotham Knights 2.0, according to several fans, who also expressed concern about the title's similarity to Gotham Knights and predicted that something like this would probably flop anyways, seeing that Avengers and Gotham also had problems. Now, we know its success until... We know the success of this, we won't know about it until the middle of the year, which is in May, right? So when Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is scheduled for publication... Now, one thing is certain, though. A lot of players are dissatisfied with the direction that this game is going. Now, inside this game, again, if you guys want to play along at home, you can go into our Discord, go into our superhero section, or in the general chat. Stealth posted something there as well. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm not going to pull it up on screen because I don't want WB. But I can tell you in description format, okay? So one of the things on the far left side of the screen, okay, it has what you have the message of the day. Up the upper left-hand corner, there's a message of the day as well. Now, a message of the day, that means it's a live service game right off the bat, right? Because there's something that's going to be advertised for you, some news, some updates, adding new people, adding new cosmetics or whatever. So the message tab of the day that's up in the left-hand corner is the top, right? From that, underneath that, we have different game modes. Now, the different game modes, the different game modes that they have here is pretty interesting because let's think of Marvel's Avengers, right? I'm doing a lot of comparisons to other live service games, right? So in Marvel's Avengers, there's different game modes, or different game areas, I should say, but not game modes. In Gotham Knights, there's different game modes. There's the open world, and then there's the heroic assault, right? So in this game, it looks like there's going to be some type of different game modes where you'll probably play the story missions, you'll probably play other things. Then there might be, horde mode. There might be some sort of, I don't know, like a tower thing that we have. So there's going to be different game modes in the game. There's also a chapter selection. Now, the chapter selection in the game, obviously, once you're done playing the game with your friends or your buddies, because we do know it's a co-op, drop-in, drop-out type of game, there's a chapter selection. So once you're done with the game, you can go back, and let's say, because it is a looter, you're going to be able to, and again, this is my speculation, I don't know off the top of my head, it seems like you would be able to grind a certain guy. So let's say there's 8 chapters or 7 chapters in the game, and your one chapter is Batman, one chapter is Aquaman, one chapter is Lantern, one chapter is Wonder Woman. You can go back and probably grind those people to try to get a drop, perhaps. Now, there's also a difficulty tab. Okay, there's a difficulty tab as well, and then there's also matchmaking. So obviously, matchmaking, if you don't have friends, you'll be able to grab somebody and matchmake with somebody along the way, and that's actually a good thing. Now, across the top, there's a squad tab is the first tab. Okay, now it shows the 4 squad members in the middle of the screen, and below that they show them with their numbers. They have 2 numbers on them. Okay, so each of the heroes, or I should say anti-heroes, has 2 numbers next to them. Okay, one is a yellow hex, okay, and one is a blue and purple hex. Both have numbers inside them. Now, I think the yellow one will probably be your anti-hero level. And when I say anti-hero, obviously it's Harley Quinn. They're not heroes. They're anti-heroes, the Suicide Squad. So the yellow one will probably be your level of your character. And then the blue and purple one will probably be your power level or your gear level of some sort, right? So that's what it's going to be. Now, each of the anti-heroes have 2 numbers next to them. One is the yellow hex, and one is the other is the blue and purple hex. Could be, like I said, the power level and the gear level. There's also, next to the squad tab, there's the looks tab. So, meaning you can customize your look of your character. Well, customizing your look of your character means that you'll either be grinding for gear in the game for cosmetics, if it's that type of looter, or you're going to be going to a store, purchasing separate things or an event that happens and earning those things, or opening a chest, or one of the things. If it's Destiny, going through a battle pass, which they have in this game, there's a battle pass, and you unlock things off the free and paid thing, that'll go into your look tab. And then in that look tab, you'll be able to customize your character the way they look as far as cosmetically. I don't know if they'll go as far as change it from like Harley Quinn. Maybe they will, like from issue 7 or issue 10 from a comic book. I don't know if they'll do that. Marvel's Avengers tried to do that, and they kind of failed miserably in the beginning. It took them way too long to start making stuff that people cared about, and people were gone, but it still keeps the game alive. Okay, so they have a looks tab. The next tab over, we have the loadout tab. Well, here's a good spot, because we have a loadouts tab, which is amazing because Marvel's Avengers doesn't have a loadout tab. A lot of games don't have loadout tab. Destiny, looking at you. Marvel's Avengers, looking at you, right? There's a loadouts tab. Maybe it just won't blink there for 2 years, and maybe we can actually use it. So there'll be a loadouts tab. Well, loadout tab means there's different weapons to use, different armor to put on, different things to use. So this hits me in the head going, well, this is definitely a looter, because why would you need a loadout tab if you just have a regular guy with this gun? Boomerang has a pistol. Harley Quinn's got a bat. Like, it's not that. It seems like there's other weapons and other gear that you could pick up from the loadouts tab. Okay. The next tab next to that is called the talents tab. Okay. So this means there's a skill tree involved. And if there's a skill tree involved, that means you're going to have different things, different special abilities, different ultimate abilities, stuff like that will happen as well with the talents tab. Okay. After that, we have the social tab. The social tab, obviously, is if you have friends playing the game, you can invite them into the game, a drop in, drop out type thing. If you don't have friends, you can use the matchmaking tab for that as well. The next tab after that is the Battle Pass tab. Now, the Battle Pass tab, obviously, is a Battle Pass. So the next tab after that is the Store tab. Well, that's the marketplace. That means you're going to be buying gear. And when I say gear, I mean armor. And when I say armor, I mean cosmetically. And it'll only be cosmetic, supposedly. Okay, again, this is all hearsay right now, but the screenshot is as real can be. Okay, very detailed. I doubt someone did. I mean, there's some talented people out there, but the way they set it up and the way it looks pretty damn accurate. Okay, or I should say authentic. Okay. But as of right now, it's not officially released, so we can't say that the screenshot is real, but we can assume that it is real, okay? Because there's a lot of detail behind it. So there's also a Codex tab. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of different, when you find Superman or find Wonder Woman, it'll tell you what about them, or Brainiac, or the other characters in the game, your characters in the game. And then after that, there's the money and currency. Okay, so below the tabs, there's money and currency. On the far left, you have your money. Okay, and then after that, you have 4 different types of resources. Well, resources mean leveling up. And leveling up means to unlock something, and to unlock something that could be either weapons that you get the gear for to throw back into your gear to level up. The resources could be used for your talent tree. The resources could also be used for cosmetics to unlock inside the store. Now, don't know if the store is the store marketplace or if the store, like inside the store, like you have a shop to go shop in inside the game and using in-game currency. Not too sure how that's going to work. Again, lots of information on this across the board. Now, let me know what you guys think. If you haven't seen it on Twitter yet, if you haven't seen it in our Discord yet, wherever you are, go take a look. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We have lots more conversation about Suicide Squads after this, but if you're just joining us, this is a upfront tell you what's going on in this video, and I'm going to end this, and then all of a sudden it's not going to cut, but basically we're going to go, you can stop watching, and then we go into the live conversation. So what do you guys think? In the comment section down below, please share, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about Suicide Squads. Are you okay with it being a live service game? Are you okay with it with a battle pass? Leave all your comments in the comment section down below. And let's go to live chat right now. What do you guys think? Good morning, chat. How are you guys doing? What's going on, Stealth? What's going on, Jesse Mack? Chief, Water Bear, Sarge, Travis, what's going on? Between a live service and online only. Live service, online only, would be considered that the game only is like, here, a perfect example. Did you ever play the game, Travis, Battleborn? Right? Battleborn is an online-only game. Single-player, multiplayer, doesn't matter. It was an online game. They never, ever put any extra content out for it. They didn't support it after the fact. They just dropped the game as is, and it was an online game only. Meaning, I can't play it offline. I can only play it when it's online. So that's online only. Live service is a game that has to be online, but it doesn't always have to be online. So Marvel's Avengers is an live service online game, but you can also disconnect from the internet and play just the single player campaign offline. So a live service is constantly updating, constantly giving updates, not just updates to fix bug fixes, but constantly like throwing new gear into the mix, throwing new cosmetics into the mix, throwing new events into the mix. It's sort of like an MMO type of pay subscription type of thing. That's an online service type of game. Let me go back up real fast and see what you guys are saying. Looks like the Avengers hero screen. It does, Stealth. It does look like the Heroes Avengers. What's going on, Jesse Mack? Like Gotham Knights, yes, exactly like Gotham Knights. Speaking of Gotham Knights, did you see the show coming out? I did see a little bits and pieces of it a couple months ago. It doesn't look good. It looks like a CW like crap fest is what it looks like. What's going on, Water? Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Feeling good, feeling great. How about those Cowboys? Well, how about those Giants, right? You guys played the Buccaneers, who I don't even think should have been in the playoffs, let alone the division winners. But that's a different conversation for a different topic. Hope Suicide Squads is a game as a service, and I hope they support it. Don't do what Avengers did, please. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't bring that up in my main talk here, Water, but I've made a video 2 months ago, and I've talked about it. I'm excited for Suicide Squads to be a live service game. We just didn't know what the game was. I mean, they said some words and stuff, but we really don't know what this game is. I want this game to be a live service game. I want a game that I can tune in, drop out, play, grind, and do stuff. I like Division. I liked Destiny. I liked Warframe. I don't need a game to give me 6 years of content, but I want a game where I could play, enjoy, put down, come back, and continue enjoying, and it feels new when I come back, right? So I'm okay with it being a live service game. Once again, I'll be playing Red Hood. Jesse Mack says, Suicide Squad, how people are going to boycott this game now, only if they don't F up the gameplay showcase, are coming pretty soon, if this game will be coming out in May 26th. Yeah, there's people saying that they're going to boycott this game. Can I just change the subject for a second? People that boycott stuff don't need to announce they're boycotting something. You just do it. If someone says, hey, did you play Suicide Squad? No, I didn't play it. Well, why not? I just didn't want to get it. You're boycotting it, but you don't have to actually like say out loud, hey, I'm boycotting this because I'm on a grandstand or something, right? If you don't want to get the game, don't get the game, but don't sit there and be like, I'm gonna boycott this shit. Like, there's no point for it. Sarge says, use the damn loadout tab in a looter game. Jesus. Water Bear says, live service game example, Division 2, Destiny 2, Warframe. Yeah. Yep. I hope they putting the old Harley Quinn skins, old Arkham Asylum skins into Suicide Squad's thoughts. I think that would be great. I mean, it's linked, right, Jesse? It's linked into that universe, so it would make sense to put it in there. So if a game still going to have an offline campaign, I don't have internet where I live, I want to be sure I can enjoy it. Right, you can have an online game, but the campaign doesn't need to be online to enjoy the campaign. You gotta read. If you don't have internet where you are, and it's hard for you to get internet access, you're gonna have to do a little bit more research per game that you want to see if you can play it offline, right? Justice League, huge. They could add more heroes to hunt similar to Manhunts in Division. Yeah, Water. So they could do something along the lines of what Transformers might be doing or what Warframe might be doing. They could add more Suicide Squad members, right? Which would be interesting if you collect the heroes, and then, for instance, when you do something wrong or you fail or die, your head explodes, obviously you get your hero back, but you would go back into and grab another hero to do some other mission, right? To make you play more multiple type of things. For instance, like a heroic assault type of thing, or a mega hive type of thing, like an Avengers. Like, that would be interesting if they did stuff like that. But don't do it the exact same way as Marvel's Avengers, because Marvel's Avengers, that is the blueprint of what not to do in a video game. Okay, that's what to do. What's going on, Stubby? A man of culture. I see playing Best Hood. What do you mean, man of culture playing a Best Hood? I miss what that is. I'm sorry. Boycott games only lead to more sales. See Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to boycott this game. Number 1 in sales. I'm going to boycott this game. Number 2 in sales. Like right now, Hogwarts Legacy is 1 on Steam, 1 on PlayStation, and 2 on Xbox right now. Right? I don't think the boycott's working. Travis says, good point. Like I bought Hogwarts Legacy solely to support the developer after all the whiny snowflakes. Exactly, Travis. Exactly. Right? No one should tell you, look, if you believe in something, we're talking boycotts here, not a specific boycott, okay? If you believe in something so hard that you don't want, you're like, I don't really like what this person did or this company did or this game did, I don't believe in it, and you want to boycott it, you could just go off into the distance and say, I'm not going to buy the game. It's not really a boycott, it's just not supporting. So you just say, I'm not going to buy the game, right? Where other people are like, if you buy this game, you are the problem. You are the problem why this is happening. You're sexist. You're racist. You're a bigot, right? When all this stuff, and you're like, I'm going to go out and buy the game now, right? Because even people that don't have that mentality are like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. You know what? I don't even know what this game is. I'm going to go buy it to prove these people wrong. And that's the beautiful thing. Don't preach to people about to do something. Just do you. And if someone agrees with you or whatever, then they'll be like, you know what? I kind of like this thought process. I might boycott it as well. But it's so stupid. It's just so stupid. Right. I prepare for 3-day head start already. I got a gift card from a relative, and so I'm buying Hogwarts Legacy later today. But I'm curious then. Couldn't something like, say, Division 2 be offline? Division 2 could be offline if you're... again, I don't know what your specific... If you're playing the campaign, I would say yes, you could play the campaign offline. I don't know if you can. Back check me, chat. But if you wanted to play online with someone or play the events or the raid or the other type of matchmaking stuff, you would need to play online. You would have to be online. So if you want to play by yourself solo, you should be able to play like that without connecting to online to play through the campaign. Once the campaign's done, I'm not sure how that works. Say you pick the best character, aka Red Hood. Oh. I didn't pick Red Hood. Water did. I picked Batgirl. If you truly want to boycott something, you shouldn't mention it at all, ever. Exactly. Right? So, in an example, a couple years ago, Borderlands 3 came out. Okay? And people said to me on our podcast, they asked me and Sarge, hey, are you guys going to be playing Borderlands 3? I said, no, we're not going to get it. And I said the reason why, because the way that company dealt with like YouTubers and whatnot, they were like harassing them. And I said, I don't agree with that, so I'm not purchasing the game. I didn't put a pitchfork in the ground and say, I'm boycotting that game, and you should too, right? Like, that's not what you should do. A boycott is for each their own to not support something, right? Whatever your values are, what your beliefs are, what you think, right? I'm not going to try to sway anybody to go, what, are you sure you want to boycott that? Are you sure you want to boycott that? Because it doesn't really, I don't know what you're feeling, but don't try to tell me how to feel because you're feeling away, right? If you're injured and get kicked in the nuts, should I go, I feel your pain? No, I didn't get hit in the nuts, man, right? I can see it because I've been kicked in the nuts before. I understand where you're coming from, but I don't have the same effort as you right there at that moment, you know? So I wonder if they have an offline bots with you on the offline campaign. They don't. Online bots while you're waiting or on other join your party lobby. If you're Jesse, are you talking about like Suicide Squads? Are you talking about a different game? Because if it's, I know Division does not have that. Go on, Luke. We talked about Suicide Squads. A leak came out, screenshot. We can't show the screenshot because I don't want WB to take down my video. So you can go to our Discord, check it out. It's in the general. It's also in the superhero news section. You can go check that out. And you go look at the screenshot. I break it down. I broke down what it is. So it gives one screenshot with a lot of information on there. And from that information, obviously, because you've played other live service games and whatnot, you can like really break down what the game is going to be. So the way it looks is it looks like it's going to be a live service game. It looks like it's going to be a looter shooter type of game. So that's what we were talking about. Got to ask, what are your thoughts, if any, on Atomic Heart? I don't have any on Atomic Heart as of right now. I haven't done any kind of research. It doesn't look interesting to me. That's, yeah, I have nothing on it, Travis. On top of that, I try to keep, in the past, I would talk about multiple topics across the board. For the first like 20, 30 minutes, I try to talk about just the topic we're talking about of Suicide Squad. It's a new format. So I'll give you my thoughts once I know more about it. I don't know much about Atomic Heart. Additionally, I don't get it because she didn't even help make the game. At this point, you're pushing the developer for someone who had nothing to do with it. Yeah, and on top of that, Travis, if people actually read what she said, she didn't really say anything like terrible, right? She just said a fact, basically, and people just disagreed with it. So it is what it is. For Suicide Squads. Oh, so you're saying if I don't play, like if we're in Suicide Squad and I'm Boomerang, is Harley Quinn, Shark, and who's the other one? Deadeye? Is it Deadeye? Are they gonna be always with me? I don't know. I would hope not. But it all depends on what they want to do, right? Would it be like Marvel's Avengers where your crew is with you the entire time? Or is it going to be like Gotham Knights where you're by yourself? It's interesting. Deadshot, thank you. Disagreeing with facts. Shocking, yeah. My first day watching this channel, already high on my list. Well, I appreciate that. We do these type of talks Monday through Thursday on the Daily Grind, and then what we do, we have Let's Plays Monday through Wednesday, and then we do a podcast on Thursday nights with Sarge as well. So yeah, hit that like button. The best way you guys can help me is hit that like button to push it out. See, my issue is that Avengers never added the character fans wanted. Yeah, I had Avengers. I really liked Avengers. I really did like Avengers. Avengers to me was was I wanted to be good. A lot of people in my chat wanted Avengers to be good. It was good. It was good. It wasn't great. It was good. The campaign was good. The end game, there was end game. There was end game up to a point, and then there was none, and then they never updated it, and then they never did a whole bunch of stuff. It was very weird. It was very weird. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. Why is this so large on my screen? Okay. So, yeah. I see an issue of Avengers ever added the characters fans wanted. Yep. Can you imagine how popular it would have been if they put in Doctor Strange or Wanda in the game? Talked about it from day one, my friend. Day one, I talked about that game. How, okay, that's a good segue here, right? For Suicide Squads itself. Now, Suicide Squads is going to suffer from the same thing if they do the exact same thing as Avengers. Okay, if they don't add more heroes into this game, if they don't add more villains into this game down the road, this game will die a quick death. And when I say a quick death, obviously, people will be playing the game for months and maybe even years because Avengers is a bad game and people still play that game to this day. Okay, so there'll be people playing the game, but this game needs. There's tons of Suicide Squad members, right? Now I don't know them off the top of my head, but let me bring up. Let me see. Suicide Squad members. Okay. We have Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, El Diablo, Black Spider, Savant, Boomerang, right? There's a whole list of people. Let me see what else they have. The Professor, Vic Morgan, let's see, Wild One, the Sheriff, Stoner, Manny, Sergeant Trask, Reed, Woods, Hale, Green, Flit. Like, there's a bunch of people, right? Deadshot, Rick Flag, Bronze Tiger, Enchantress, Blockbuster, Nemesis, Nightshade, Plastique, Black Orchid, right? Penguin, Killer Frost, Multiplex, Slipknot, right? There's so many freaking people that they could add to Suicide Squads. It would be such a missed opportunity if Rocksteady comes out and doesn't do this. Now, I want to kind of talk into another thing here, right? Why is it as a society and as gamers, we push back so hard from these live service game aspects, right? Like, the people that don't like live service games, all of us say we don't like them or dislike them in some way, shape, or form, but each and every single one of us are playing a game right now that's part of a live service. If it's Warframe, if it's Destiny, if it's Division, if it's whatever it is, we're each playing a game that's a live service aspect. Or you're going to be playing a game that's a live service aspect. Diablo, right? You're going to be playing certain games that have certain qualities. And then when games don't have a live service aspect of it, okay, then people get, oh, I wish this was Outriders. We wanted a game, right? We wanted a game that came out and was just a game and beat a game, finish a game, put down the game. But then when we played Outriders, we're like, man, I wish this was a live service game. I wish they kept supporting this game. Gotham Knights came out. I said, I wish this was a live service game because the game came out. They have yet to update it. It's been out since October. They put the Heroic Assault in November. Now it's December, January. Halfway through January, we haven't heard a word, a peep, nothing out of Gotham Knights. If it was a live service game, they could have said, hey, we're adding something new into the game. They have yet to do anything. So why do we keep pushing back as a society, as gamers? Why do we keep pushing back at live service games when really looters? Now, I'm not saying all games need to be live service, right? But most games that are multiplayer, that you play and you loot something, we would really like that to be a live service game. So not having a live service is a kind of a missed opportunity for certain games, right? Travis says, heck, you could even add some people who aren't Suicide Squad normally and say joined in because everyone knows Brainiac is a huge threat. True. You could add other superheroes that are not taken over by Brainiac and they become part of it, right? The DLC part of live service, I tend to buy DLC, but I avoid anything with premium costumes or such. DLC is part of a... I'm old school. I don't think DLC is part of live service, but DLC can be part of live service. It could be paid DLC or it could be free DLC. DLC is just downloadable content. So if they pay for it or if it's free, downloadable content is downloadable content, right? So it all depends on what type of game. Jesse Max says, "This is imagine this if they put in Peacemaker only talking a lot of S, that would be great. Oh, like putting him in as like the character that he is, that would be interesting. Yeah. If this is rude, but you remind me of a gamer version of Paul Giamatti. Oh God, Giamatti doesn't have a beard like this. Come on, come on. That's not rude. I don't care. I've been told lots of different things. As I get older, I look like different people. When I was younger, I looked like Eminem. Then I looked like Justin Timberlake. Then I looked like somebody else. Now I look like Paul Giamatti. It's all downhill from here. It's all downhill from here. But by that logic, they could also put content out. They don't need to be a live service to make content for the game. Sure. But at the same time, if they're still supporting the game 2 years down the road, wouldn't that be considered a live not a live service, but I guess it would be a service game. It'd be a games as service, right? They could sell $15 DLC, sure, but still compete. It's still adding on to it. Live service. I mean, what is live service, right? Live service, if it's are they updating every 12 weeks? Is it once a year? And DLC, if they're adding stuff more to the game, if the game is still living on past the point of what it is it considered live service? Right? Does it need like a holiday event inside there every Christmas? Does it need like updated cosmetics throughout the week? I mean, I don't know what clarifies it. If they have a season/pass, it's 100% live service like Division 2 with update events. Right? I mean, they have a battle pass in there. They have a battle pass. It's a live service game. Well, the picture shows us live service. I think for me is, can I see the game as a game, or is it just fraudulent cash grab like Overwatch? I think that's the eye of the beholder, though, Travis, right? I think one person might enjoy a game and play it and never spend anything. That's me, right? So if a game is free, I'll play that game and enjoy that game for a bit, and then I'll be like, I'll put it down. But if it grabs my attention, I play it so much, then I will buy a season pass once I complete it, right? Because they've earned my money because I put in the time. Other people might not put the time in, and they're like, and they might just buy the cosmetics because it looks cool and then never play the game ever again. I'm not that type of person. I want to put the time in. So some could be a game to be a game, and some could be a game to be a cash grab, but it all depends on what you are looking for in a game. I mean, is it Midnight Suns has a season pass and it's not a live service? I mean, Midnight Suns right now only has one DLC. Did they mention in any way, shape, or form down the line that they could add something? I don't know. As of right now, if it's a game that's done and only has one DLC, then that wouldn't be considered a live service game, but they can still games as service, maybe? Because a games as service is different than live service. Games as service would be where they're taking the data, seeing how popular their game is, and then making more content and then throwing more content at it. Right? I unlock every character in Mass Effect 3. Never spent a single cent on characters, but every DLC they came out with, I paid in the cash. Right. That's how I play stuff, right? If I like a game and I put my time into it, I think they're the same, bro. Games as service and live service. Well, let's look it up. Let's look it up. All right, let's see. Live service. Let's see. Live service games. What are live service games and how do they work? What is a live service? What is live service in games? Live service games or games as service, there you go, are video games designed to keep people engaged as long as possible by frequently adding new content and updates. If done successfully, a game publisher uses these live service games to keep players engaged for a long time, often many years. Okay, so it is the same. Games as service is the same as live service, which then, if it's DLC that just keeps putting into the game 6 months after, 8 months after, that would be considered as still as games as service, would it not? Let's see. Is DLC considered Is DLC considered live service? Not every game can be a live service title. Do you prefer games with live service or DLC packs? What are live service? Everything you need to know. Define live service, game service. See, this one says a live service game. Why won't it? There we go. Let's see. In addition, a live service, for me, a live service is a manner of which post-launch content is delivered. If one, typically free content, fixes or balance changes to the game, yeah. Two, required an online connection to facilitate these updates. Games as service, in my mind, is both revenue and content delivery model designed to retain high concurrent player numbers. In essence, revenue is generated on behalf of players, often through microtransactions, regular paid for content, or subscription fees. Lastly, these games are also always online to better facilitate content delivery, while also ensuring that they can handle a large influx of players and companies' respective servers. There you go. So examples of non-notable live service titles include Mass Effect 3, Andromeda, Dragon Age Multiplayer, Monster Hunter World, Assassin's Creed, Warframe, Destiny 2, and Division franchise. Examples of games as service titles would be Destiny 2, Division 2, Elder Scrolls Online, and World of Warcraft. Good. That's a good example. All right, Battle Pass and store. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be a live service game. I asked because I can give me a feeling of what type of games you like. I can tell you what type of games I like. I'm all over the place. I like sports games. I like racing games. I like simulator games. I play trucking simulators. I play first-person shooters. But I like live service games. I like the fact that I can put a game down, come back 2 months later, jump back in, and continue playing in something's new. Like in Division 2, they have the new manhunts that I can go back in and play, right? Back in the day when I played Destiny, I realized I haven't played Destiny in over 2 years. The last time I played Destiny was December of 2020. That's the last time I played. Right? So that's the last time I played. I like finished games. I also like story games, right, Travis? I like a lot of games with story. So if it's a game that has a story, I'll play it. And if it has a multiplayer aspect to it, I might not play the multiplayer aspect because I want to play the story. So I like a lot of stories. Like a lot of people gave Gotham Knights crap, but I enjoyed the story. A lot of people gave Marvel's Avengers crap, but I like the story. I like the single player campaign of it. Play that and then put it down type of thing. Jesse says, I'm very worrisome about if they are raids into Suicide Squads if they do it right. I don't want other like Marvel's Avengers or Gotham Knights Heroic Assault. Why is it that we need raids and stuff? I think you want raids because you want loot, right? We don't know what type of loot system's in this game yet, so I don't know if there's going to be a raid mechanic. And if you're battling if you're battling Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Flash in the regular campaign, and Brainiac as the main boss, who the hell are you fighting in the raid? Right? Like, Superman himself would be a big raid. Like, he would be the end boss. I will rephrase it. Finished at launched games. That's my favorite type of games, yes. That says, I mean, I'm fine with it being mostly online. I just don't like these games that have big campaigns that are online only unless it's an MMO. Right. Well, I don't know. It all depends what type of game it is. Like, what's your favorite IP, Travis? Like, do you like Marvel? Do you like Star Wars? Do you like Transformers? Like, what is your favorite? What is your favorite thing that you would love to be in a video game? Maybe it's already here. I don't know, Luke. I said it earlier. I said they have game modes. I mean, like game modes that would be like maybe a horde mode, right? A definite horde mode would be in there. They could have different things like manhunts. That could be a game mode to like different heroes. Yeah, I liked Gotham Knights. A lot of people give it crap because of the 30 frames per second, or like, it's just done. Cool, if that's what you think. I play games of all spectrums, right? I understand people want 60 frames per second, and if I can get 60 frames per second, fantastic. If I can get 30 frames per second, fantastic. I play the game. I play games. I'm a gamer. I'll play games at the lowest quality, the highest quality, the shittiest games, the best games. Doesn't matter. I'll play it. Mass Effect or Marvel. Okay, so what if they made a game, I want to say Marvel's Avengers, but a better game than Marvel's Avengers, where it has 50 characters, but those 50 characters came across over like 2 years, where you're playing a game and then you can download new heroes like Wolverine or Colossus or Juggernaut or be Magneto, okay? But it was an online game, and you're playing with friends, and it's like an MMO, but it's not an MMO. It's just a 3-player, 4-player co-op game that you're going around, right? You would want that. You would want that, right? Because when you have a game that you want, like right now, Transformers Reactivate is that game that I'm looking for, that if Transformers comes out and it's a great game, that's it. I'm playing Transformers, baby. I'm looking for the game that I'm interested in. And if it's good, if it's bad, if I enjoy it, that's what matters. That's what matters. Gotham Knights story was great. I enjoyed it every bit as much as Arkham Knights, yeah. A raid is just an activity to collect loot. Be it really good loot or hard activity, but currently it's been labeled endgame activity. Right, Sarge. I don't think every game needs a raid, right? I don't think, if this is a looter, I don't think it needs to be a raid in it. You know? Mass Effect or Marvel or Castlevania, but sadly dead thanks to Konami. I didn't want S. They told me 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second, bro, is amazing. So now I expect 60 frames per second because that's what they said. And again, we've had this conversation. First-party titles have been 60 frames per second, right? First-party titles from both makers, Sony and Xbox, have been 60 frames per second. It's the third-party games that didn't promise anything, right? Xbox and Sony said you can play games at you can play games up to, up to 60 to 120 frames per second, but that's based on the developer. So you can't blame Xbox or Microsoft and Sony if a third-party game comes out and it doesn't run at 60 frames per second. That's on the developer, not the makers of the consoles. Now, Story Guy. This is why, as an example, I love Jedi Fallen Order or hated Elden Ring. I thought Elden Ring was pretty good. I mean, it was just given in a different... I'm okay if a story is not the exact same thing as stories are supposed to be given. I like different things. So for me, I thought Elden Ring, the way they delivered the story was pretty good. I didn't even finish the story. I didn't even finish the game. Now, obviously, I prefer games like Jedi Fallen Order, where they're telling you a linear story and you're going through it. Like I love stuff like that. My problem is with games like that, though, if it's an open world game and there's a story and then there's all this other stuff you can look at, I do the story first, and sometimes I don't go back to do the other things. So as I'm playing, I try to kind of do everything as much as possible, but it's very hard. First, they have to show us gameplay. Then we judge the game for how it is, feels, and good in the combat and the fighting. Yeah, they haven't showed us anything, and that's a good segue, Jesse. This game is coming out in May, and we have yet to see gameplay. Now, I'm not worried because of what Marvel's Avengers did or Gotham Knights did, because Rocksteady, the last time we played their games, they've done really good games. But they've never done a live service game. And if this is a live service game, I'm kind of a little weary here, because obviously there's people that do live service and now they're good at live service. But before live service came out, nobody did live service. So everyone trying live service for the first time might stumble a little bit. Okay? We're just hoping that they don't stumble a lot. Hopefully they learn the lessons from other people coming out before them. Obviously, while in development, Marvel's Avengers was here, and they could have went, well, let's not do that. Gotham Knights is here. They're like, let's not do that. I hope this game feels like what it's supposed to be. Marvel's Avengers was a single-player co-op game that they turned into a live service multiplayer game. Gotham Knights, because of Marvel's Avengers, saw what it was, and in my opinion, took a co-op multiplayer live service game and backed it off and made it a single-player co-op game. Okay? So hopefully this game comes out and knows it's a live service looter, and that's what it was built upon. And it wasn't pulled out, and it wasn't thrown in at the last second. It was built from the ground up to be a looter shooter. As long as it has offline mode where I can play the heroes, then yes, I will play. I'll pay for it. I don't know if it is. We'll have to find out more when it comes out or nears launch. What I'm hearing is I don't promise 60 frames per second unless you know you can deliver it. Right. If it feels more like than two fingers, it's probably... I love Battleborn, but some reason Elden Ring just didn't like D&D Edgelord Edition. Well, here, I never played the Battleborn series, Travis. I never played them. They didn't appeal to me. And then all of a sudden, Elden Ring came out. I was like, oh, I can explore. I didn't buy it for 2 weeks. I was like, oh, cool. It's an open world. That's what appealed to me, right? That game appealed to me because it was open. I can go where I want. I can level up the way I want. I don't have to go in the linear order type of thing. I actually liked it for that reason. Maybe not the best example, but look at WWE 2K22 versus 2K20. It's obviously they looked at how 2K20 failed and went from there. Sure, but that's the same makers of a game making the next game, right? These are other people making games just like the games that are out, and they're learning lessons from them. Just like Destiny was built from the ground up to be a stripper, a greedy, hungry, dirty stripper. Sarge's in prime form this morning. I played 10 minutes of Elden Ring, and I was like, this is Dark Souls, I'm good. But I will keep playing Fallen Order, which is also a Souls-like. Yeah, but you're like that. You like Fallen Order because you like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Go on, Slayer. If they added DLC characters to Suicide Squads, then I would want to play as Reverse Flash, Deathstroke, or Bizarro. I think, Slayer, I hope they learn the lesson, because look, if this game comes out and it's a live service game, right? It's a live service game, but it's only these 4 players, and they're only adding more cosmetics for these 4 players, it's going to be boring real fast. But let's just admit, let's just say the campaign, fighting all the bad guys, going through the campaign is like, I don't know, let's say 15 hours. 15 hours. You're going to play through the game, you're going to beat the game, and you beat it as Harley Quinn. And you're like, all right, I'm going to play again, but now I'm going to play with my buds, and I'm going to play as Deadshot. Then you play that, and then you play as Boomerang, you play as King Shark. That only is exciting for a little bit. It gets boring and mundane. Obviously, if you're an achievement person, you'll play it, but you want more people. You're like, oh, cool. You want to build this up because then the players start to make their own type of stuff, right? If Sarge is Harley Quinn, I'm like, oh, you're Harley. Let me bring in Boomerang, and someone else will bring in, I don't know, Poison Ivy as a Suicide Squad member or Penguin or whatever. And they add more people into the mix. That mixes it up, and that's like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, I want to level that character up. Now the game is not about playing through the campaign. It's about getting a character, leveling up that character, and playing that character. This is why Marvel's Avengers, the people that liked it, still kept playing it, because they were leveling up their characters and leveling them up. The bad part about Marvel's Avengers, there wasn't enough content to do, so you're doing the exact same thing with the new heroes, and that got boring. So with this game, they have to add more people, they have to add more villains, they have to add more areas to do, which sounds easier than said than done. But if they add a bad guy, they need to add a section for that bad guy, or a dungeon for that bad guy, or something for that bad guy. I think it would be cool. Transformers Reactivate, the way it sounds, is that, you know, a robot's going to be out in the world somewhere, and you're going to be playing and trying to get resources or find parts of that robot to create that robot, and then you have a new player to create. I think it'd be interesting if Suicide Squads, think about this. I don't know if this is how it's going to be. Probably not. But let's say you're a Suicide Squad member. You go up against the Justice League, but there's other enemies out there that you're fighting, and you capture them. And if you capture them instead of killing them, you get to keep that character, and then you could use that character as one of your playable characters. Now, that would be cool, because then you would team up with somebody and go, I need to collect this guy. And everyone's like, oh, I need to collect this guy too. And then you'll have to fight the guy, and by accident, you could kill him. And then you have to do it again and try to capture him. You see what I'm saying? That would be cool. Almost like Pokemon type of stuff. But now you get to capture them and then use those characters as another playable character. Yeah, the only person, honestly, who's getting of my members of the group getting Forspoken. Forspoken just doesn't look good to me. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I don't have a PlayStation. I can't get it anyway. But I just look at that game, and sometimes you look at a game, and some people look at the game and go, that looks amazing. And some people look at the game and go, I don't know. I don't know about that game. Yes. Yeah, like Warframe. Yeah. So if the thing is, it's just like the more content, why did people hate on AC Valhalla? Keep in mind, I don't like it because it's not Vikings guy, but I can keep arguing that it had a lot of content. I don't know why. I didn't play it myself. I'm not really too sure, right? I'm not really too sure why people hate games like Valhalla. Maybe it's too big, and I don't know. I think games like that would be better if it was like co-op and you could play with a buddy, right? I had a conversation with a buddy of mine on his podcast on Fridays, and we were talking about Hogwarts Legacy, about being a live service game. And I said, Hogwarts Legacy is going to be a great game, but I think Hogwarts Legacy would be a better game if it was live service. If you could play it with a buddy, if it was co-op, even if it wasn't live service, just playing with one other person co-op, where you could come into my room of requirements and see the stuff that I've collected. And then you're like, oh, I got this from here. Like, oh, let's go get that. And then you go on an adventure together type of thing. It just screams co-op to me, especially since the Harry Potter movies were based on 3 characters. I played about 2 minutes of the beta pass for Forspoken. Okay. Problem with that is you're drifting really close to hatch territory. What, for collecting the guys to play? I don't know. I just want something different. AC Valhalla was a huge empty open world and doesn't feel like an Assassin's Creed. It's a brawler. Water says Forspoken's okay, but it seems short. Just get lost in the Viking world. Interesting. Forspoken's gonna bomb. It was a big blah when I played the demo. Well, see, a lot of people, you guys playing the demo, you guys are all like, boring kind of thing. Interesting. Remember, kids, it's all about time. Is the game good enough to warrant your time? It's true. Yeah, it's true. Is a game good enough to warrant your time? Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me see. What do you guys? We got 16 likes. We got 20 people. We get 20 likes. Come on, 20 people. 4 people haven't hit that like button. Either you fell asleep or you just forgot. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, we do make a lot of content on this channel. We do uploads. We do 4 days of live streams like this in the morning. We do 3 live streams at night for gameplay. Tonight, I think I'm going to play some Battlefield 2042 again. Tomorrow night, we're going to play Division 2 again. Thursday nights, we do a podcast called Generation X Gaming. It's a 2-hour podcast with me and Sarge. So there's a good 8 to 11 things being uploaded onto this channel each and every single week. So you can help us out by hitting that like button. You can help us out by hitting the subscribe button. You can help us out by becoming a member. Now, I know becoming on Twitch, people wanted to be followers and subscribers. And over here on YouTube, you're like, why would I be a member? Membership helps me out to continue making content. This is what I do. So I make money off of advertisements for ad revenue. I make money off subscriptions. Or memberships. I make money off of super chats and whatnot. So I'm not asking for it, but what I'm saying is if you like to put above and beyond that, you can help us out. But all these things that you can do on this channel, like, subscribe, share, all of these things that you can do to help us out. And we have all the other channels that I'm working on. We have our main channel, which is 30 and Still Gaming. We have this channel, 30 NSG, and then we have Nerding with 30, which I got to make some more content. Mando Season 3 trailer just dropped yesterday, so I got to make some content about that as well. So I had fun with Forspoken demo, and then I did with the final product of Elden Ring. There you go. Well, and this is why there's many games for many people with many different takes, right? And when the world talks about if a game is good or bad, it's the majority, right? It's the majority. So you might like something, and the majority of the population doesn't. Does it mean the game's bad? No, but it means that the majority of the population didn't find it entertaining or good. Doesn't mean the game is terrible, right? I saw that, Water. I saw that. The egg prices, I saw a video online at Walmart, $14. I don't know where the hell they're going. Right? I was like, what? Chickens are rare. You didn't know, Water? The feed goes up, Sarge. That's what it is. Our prices are raising on our farm. The feed goes up. Like, you could do it for the feed that you have, but then once you have to get the new feed, they're raising their prices, and then you gotta raise the price of the egg, you know? I already know it. I don't even need to look, Stealth. I don't think that's real. Unless that's the new episode and it comes out. I don't know if that's real. But if it is, that is hilarious. That's hilarious. I actually joked about that. I actually joked about it, that they were going to make Scooby into a human. Just stop buying eggs. You'll see how fast the eggs drop in price. Sure. Sure. Don't eat eggs. Doesn't matter to me. I have eggs every day. We have a chicken farm, so. But I'm also not buying my eggs. Said the AC has to go Mirage is stealth heavy, like old games. Say Red is Red open world. Alternatively, we also could get both types of fans. Sure, I'm kind of over Assassin's Creed, personally. Just open world game of Assassin's Creed just bores me right now. They've gotten to a point where, and again, and I'll be hypocritical here, because if you take Assassin's Creed and now convert the main character into a Jedi Knight, I'm in. I'm in. Okay, if you take the exact same thing of Assassin's Creed, okay, and put a Jedi Knight there, that game is number one to me. Didn't really like the recent Assassin's Creed games. Well, Origins felt like an experimental game in addition to new play styles, so I did enjoy it, but Odyssey and Valhalla not so much. One of my friends, Brainchild, gifted me Assassin's Creed game, and I have yet to even play it. I have no drive to play the Assassin's Creed game. And if anybody's gonna gift me games, I appreciate it in every way. But just ask first, like, hey, I know it's just a gift, but be like, hey, like if you're gonna give me something, go, hey, what do you think about this game? And if I go, I don't really like that game, then don't gift it to me. You know what I mean? Like in the future, look at it and go, oh, I think he likes this game. I would be nice and I'll gift it to him. But don't gift me games that I'm not gonna play because it's you're just wasting your money. I appreciate it, I do, and I feel terrible about it as well. Since you're a Transformers fan, I've never watched. Can you explain something to me? Why does it feel like a poor man's Gundam to me? Transformers? A poor man's Gundam? Are you confusing Transformers with GoBots? Transformers are awesome. I mean, I don't know how old you are, Travis, but growing up in the '80s, Transformers were basically made to sell toys. The show was created to sell the toys. The toys came before the show. Right? There was nothing. They literally imagined them up to just sell the toys. It's just cool, you know? I mean, as a kid, as a boy, right? You're attracted to like cars and wheels and motorcycles and all this stuff. No, we're not talking about the Mando trailer stealth. I'll make a video of that over on my Nerding with 30 channel. Maybe that's why we get with the with Ubisoft Star Wars game. Perhaps. I think it's going to be based more around like when I think Massive is doing it. They're good at guns. They're good at world building. I see them building I see them building a gun like a looter, but in the Star Wars universe. Can't compare Gundam to Transformers. Gundams is mech based. Transformers are AI based. Well, they're not even AI. They're I mean, there are artificial intelligence, but they're organic though. I saw like the intro of the Mando trailer, and I was like, I'm in, and I stopped watching it. The Mando trailer shows a little. It does show a little too much. I watched the whole thing. It does show a little too much. Yeah, Transformers. I don't know, man. It just the lore of Transformers of an alien race from a different system crash lands on our planet, and then they have to live amongst us. I don't know. It was a cool concept when I was a kid. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Gundams as well, but to me, it'd be the opposite, right? I know Gundams has been around, but I looked at Gundams as a ripoff of Transformers. But that's false. That's false because the what's it called? GoBots actually came out before Transformers did by like 1 year. When did Gundams release? Yeah, Gundams came out in 1979, right? So they came out before both of them. New Lightfall trailer drop. Looks dope, like always. It, the trailer they showed at the Video Game Awards show, Stealth, I wasn't impressed. It was the first. It was the first trailer. Now I don't know if there's a new trailer, but never got me. I'm hoping the actual Transformers game releases this year, although it might release next year. I think the beta releases this year. I think the beta releases this year, and then the game itself probably releases next year. But regardless, if the beta comes out, that's released to me. Because what's the difference? What's the difference nowadays? Alpha, beta, early access. You know, they're all the same. It's a game comes out and they fix it along the way. I used AC, but my point was that when the fans argue like new school and old school, and others go like old school, alternate. I mean, it would be worked for COD, sure. Yeah, new. I'm not even gonna watch it. I'll be honest, Stealth. I have nothing but hate for that franchise. I'm done with it. I loved it. I don't regret my time with that game, but I can't even watch the people that cover the game anymore. I just don't care. I just don't care about Destiny in any way, shape, or form. I haven't watched anybody that's covered it. And there's one person I still watched, Darksider Royale. And I just can't watch most of his videos. I'm just like, I don't know why I'm listening to it. I like the guy. I want to support the channel, but I don't like his content. So I'm boycotting him. No, I'm not boycotting him. I just don't enjoy it anymore. So did my friend until he learned that Gundam came out first in 1976. It says 79 here. It says that the creator of director premiered in Japan Broadcasting Network and is affiliated in 1979. So I don't know. Did the comic book come out? Gundam Comics come out earlier? Nope, the comics came out the same year, 1979. April 7th, 1979. You ever watch Gundam Story? Because there are plenty to suggest starting with the Gundam Wing. I haven't watched any of them. When I was a kid, I watched them. And then I moved into like Voltron and all that stuff. Oh, the Gundam toys were amazing. They had so much man, for back in the day, Gundam toys had the most articulation. It was really cool with all the different moving parts and stuff. It was awesome. I feel the exact same way about Marvel's Avengers. I still watch other content creators, just not when they're streaming Avengers. Yeah, like there's something about that game though, Slayer. I like Marvel's Avengers still, but I haven't touched it since Winter Soldier came out. Haven't touched it. Haven't watched people that play it. Haven't touched it. Don't care about builds anymore. I got him to 5150 the first day and haven't touched him. So when did he come out? November? So I haven't touched the game in 2 months. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I waited 2 years for a mission, and then I was like, yeah, I'm good. It's sad. Next up. I got 2 years and lots of hours out of it. Hogwarts Legacy will not have cross saves. Yeah, no cross saves, but there will be multiple save slots. So you can play each house and have save slots, and you can also have save cross progression. There'll be cross progression. So if you have the game, you have to buy the game twice, but you'll have a save progression across the systems, they said. I'm gonna buy the Epion red looking Gundam for my man cave, but it's like $500. See, I rather buy the Transformers myself. Dustin says, I'm happy. Happy about what? Hogwarts? I was going to go to a different topic. I was going to go to a completely different topic and end this stream and move over, but I'm not going to do that now because there's not enough time left. Not enough time left. I was going to talk about the Star Wars Eclipse. So what I might do is I might make that into a separate video completely, like maybe for tomorrow. Or what I'll do is I'll just make it an upload, and I'll upload that. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us today. We're not done. We're not done. I'm just saying it. Came to my head. I appreciate you guys coming out. Something's weird happened with YouTube. So when I've been uploading stuff and posting our stuff, it's not been getting the viewership, and it's not because just something behind the scenes, like numbers are going up and then all of a sudden they go back down. They're doing something behind the scenes of YouTube. And I don't know if it's the videos that are bad or if it's the process that's thing, if I'm missing something, because we were hitting and then all of a sudden it drops off the cliff. It's just weird. We had the Dark and Darker video that I did. It started off super slow and then went up to like 1,600 and then they took them away from me. And I was like, that's weird. So there's a bunch of stuff. That video ended up being somewhere let me see what that one ended up as. I think it's only like 400 views, if I'm not mistaken. Dark and Darker. The Dark and Darker one. No, that's an upload. Yeah, it's only got 319. It went up to 1,600, and it had. If you go look at it, it's weird. It's got 319 views, but it's got 707 likes. Interesting, right? As much as I like Warframe, if Transformers Reactivate does very well in the long run, I believe it'll blow Warframe out of the park, or out of parks, especially due to the IP. I've said the same thing, Slayer. There's certain things, and I've said this way back when first year of Destiny come out on our podcast that we started, Generation X Gaming. I said that if Destiny was just recreated as Transformers, as Star Wars, or as a Marvel game, I said it would be 1,000 times more like popular than what Destiny is. Destiny did something so crazy because people loved Bungie and they did it, but your character and stuff you have no interest in. You have no interest in your Warlock or your Hunter or your Titan. There's no story behind them, right? But if you play Transformers, okay, if you play Transformers, you already know the backstory of Transformers. If you play Marvel, you already know the backstory of Marvel. You already know the backstory of Star Wars. So if it was the exact same game, now think of Destiny as the exact same game, but you're running around as 3 Jedi, right? Or you're running around as 3 bounty hunters, or you're running around as the Autobots or Decepticons, or you're running around as Wolverine or something. Same exact game. It would be a lot better game than it would be, right? Travis says, plus, I mean, what was the crap with oh look, a new original character in Jane Foster. She comes out and she's a freaking Echo. She is different, but she is an Echo. There's both. She's fun to use, but still, it was like a toss, and it's like, hey, we can't come up with content, so let's just throw in another character that we already have in the game. Is it Eclipse a myth? No, it's not. It's made by Quantic Dreams. It's not coming out for a good 2 to 3 more years, but there's information that came out about what the story is going to be and who we're following and what type of species and where it takes place. So, so what's the news about Star Wars Eclipse? Bad news or good news about the? Well, you're just gonna have to find out. Yeah, I'll make a video of it. I'll make a video of it. It's not really good news or bad news. Just news. Just news. Another problem I have with people who keep saying Starfield is going to be game of the year. I mean, it looks subpar, and making Xbox exclusive means a lot of people won't play it. Sure, but at the same time, Travis, potentially now, 30 million people can play it, which is probably, if it was on all systems, is probably 20 million more than what people would have played it. right? Because if it's a $70 game and it was across all systems, okay, if across all systems, it probably would sell, let's just say 5 to 7 million copies, right? That's people that want to pay for it and play it. But now it's on one system, well, technically two systems, PC and Xbox, and 30 million people potentially could play that game for $0 because they already have Game Pass, right? So potentially they could have, 3 times the amount of people to play Starfield to try it than they would if they came out and people don't have the $70 to spend for it. That's a tall order for Transformers to beat Warframe. Plausible, but difficult because we see how the suits treat old IPs. Sure. And plus, Warframe's got a 10-year head start, right? So to say that it would beat Warframe, we would have to wait a really long time to see how it pans out. We don't even know if Transformers will last 10 years. That's like saying my addiction to Legos and Transformers toys is a myth. No, they are real things. Ask my wife. I mean, making an Xbox exclusive didn't incentivize me to get an Xbox. It just made me go, yep, not interested in that game anymore. Sure. But think about it. Again, if 3 people, because 30 million people weren't going to buy this game when it comes out because the game itself, right? The game itself is a niche market. Space travel is a niche market. Like, I wonder how many people are playing. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. No Man's Sky. Okay. Steam developer Valve reported that No Man's Sky was one of the top 12 highest grossing revenue games available on the platform during 2016, while Steam's Spy estimated that more than 823,000 copies were sold in 2016 for a total gross of more than 43 million, right? 823,000, that was on Steam. It was only on for Steam, and it only came out for PlayStation, okay? So, now, 823,000, and it made 43 million, right? Now, obviously, Starfield is a niche market because Bethesda fans and also like space fans, people that are looking, a lot of people are going to think they're going to like this game and they're going to be turned off by it because it's super boring or slow for dialogue. It's super boring and slow because they walk around a planet. There's nothing to do. Like they don't have their hand being held or whatnot. So there's going to be a lot of people that are turned off by that game. So based off of, let's just say they sold 1 million copies of No Man's Sky on PlayStation when it first came out. I'll even give them 2 million. Hell, I'll give them 3 million. 3 million units sold on PlayStation and 823,000 on Steam. Okay? So now take that same game, day one, put it on No Man's Sky on PC and Xbox, and there's 30 million people that could play. I guarantee you they would have more than 3.8 million people playing that game or trying it out on day one. Right now, No Man's Sky has sold more than 10 million units since launch. Sold more than 10 million. How many people are playing on Game Pass? No Man's Sky numbers on Game Pass. Do they have those numbers? We never see these numbers, so I don't know. No Man's Sky's player count rises to 1 million due to Game Pass. But I don't know. That's back 2 years ago. Right? So, Transformers has a 40-year head start. Sure, but as a game, it doesn't. As a game, it doesn't, Sarge. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that Bethesda being Xbox exclusive is actually hurting them more than helping. I know people who refuse to acknowledge Elder Scrolls 6 because it might be an Xbox exclusive. I don't understand that, though. And again, I'm not from this mentality, right? I don't side with one developer or the next, or publisher, I should say, or console, right? I wanted to play God of War, so I purchased a PlayStation and played God of War. I'm not going to be like, well, God of War is only on PlayStation, so I'm not gonna play PlayStation. I want to play games. Now, obviously, we're in a time where people can't afford two systems, right? I don't own a PlayStation 5, so I can't play the new God of War, right? I can play it on the PlayStation 4, but I don't want to because I would rather play it on the better system, right? Spider-Man's only on PlayStation 5. I can't play it because it's on another system. Should I be mad to Santa Monica Studios because they're only on one system? Should I be mad at Insomniac because it's only on one system? That's not their fault. So I don't know if it hurts. I don't think that the sales would be much better. I think the people that want to buy that game buy the system. So if Spider-Man was on Xbox, sure, it would make more money. But the people that really want to buy that game, the real Spider-Man fans, go out and buy a PlayStation, go buy out the game. They'll find a way to play it. They'll buy it for PlayStation or PC now when it comes out for PC. Again, I think the factor of selling consoles, if people that want to get Starfield are going to buy a S and they're going to get a Game Pass, or they're going to play it on the cloud and play it on Game Pass, I think you'll be very surprised to see how many people. Now, I don't know if they'll play it 6 months from now, but when that game comes out, I guarantee you they're going to have some crazy numbers to play it when it comes on Game Pass. Besides the base on what we've seen, Starfield, I think Outer Worlds looks better. Sure, yeah, I'm not super excited about Starfield. I think people want it to be Skyrim of space. But the reason Skyrim is so popular over the years is because of modders. So, I mean, it's a good game. I love Skyrim, right? I love Fallout. I'm pretty sure I'll like Starfield as well, but I think Starfield kind of just looks because we've already played it. If No Man's Sky didn't come out, if Star Citizen didn't come out, if Horizon, what's the other one? Elite Dangerous, not Horizon. Elite Dangerous. All these games have been out for 6 to 8 to 10 years. So the space, looking at what the space looks like, we pretty much know what Starfield's going to be like, generalistically. I heard Transformers Reactivate is going to be free to play. Do you think it's true? I do. I do think it's going to be true because it was made originally by Digital Extremes and Certain Infinity. And they passed the torch over to Splash Damage and was it something head Bulkhead. And I think it's going to be free to play because it's the same business model as Warframe. I mean, I guess they could change it, but again, if you go free to play, you're going to have a bigger base of players to come in and try it and play it and spend microtransactions. But if you can only afford one system, most people would pick a PlayStation 5 as it has far better exclusives. I don't think that's true either. I don't think that's true. It all depends on what age bracket you're in. If you're a parent buying a system for your kid, and there's PlayStation 5 and there's an Xbox, if I only had a certain amount of money, I could buy an Xbox for less than $300 with a year of Game Pass, and they have 100 games at their disposal, or I can spend $500 and buy one game, which makes it almost $600, and they have one game to play, right? Now, obviously, I know there's PlayStation Plus, but still, the factor of if I'm tight on cash, I'm probably not going to buy a PlayStation 5 for my kids. Now, if I'm buying a system for myself, sure, I want the best that can possibly be. So I'll probably get the PlayStation, but then another equation goes into effect. Where are my friends playing? If one of my friends buys an Xbox and he's the alpha of my friends, and what I mean by that is like where he goes, everyone else goes. Where, you have a group of 5 friends, 2 people buy a PlayStation, or one buys a PlayStation, one buys the Xbox. Who are you siding with? Okay, so it all depends on who you're going to buy. Like, for instance, the reason I bought an Xbox is because at the time, the circle that we were in was playing Xbox. So we bought into Xbox to play with our friends, right? So it all depends on what your circle's in. If you have no friends, then I guess you buy what you want. But if you have a friend or friends, they're like, yeah, man, I just picked up an Xbox. You're like, all right, cool, I'll pick up an Xbox. You know what I mean? My point is, until Xbox comes up with a new unique IP, it will be behind PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 is new unique IPs. Xbox taking existing IPs and making them exclusives versus good second line. But Xbox, you're in a state of mind where you think Xbox is playing the same game as PlayStation, trying to get exclusives out, right? Remember that Spider-Man was turned down by Xbox, and that they went to PlayStation, right? Other games were exclusive for Xbox, but they turned them down, and they went over to PlayStation. One, why do companies want to be exclusive to one system so they don't have to make multiple things for different ports, so they can focus on that one game? Microsoft doesn't want that. They want to make as many games as possible, and they're selling a service. PlayStation's selling a console. Xbox is selling a service. They're not even in the same ballpark anymore. I just bought that one that's been in beta for like 15 years, but I saw that the keybinds and got for which game? I bought that has been in beta for 15 years. Star Citizen, is that what you're talking about? I'm tight on cash, and I don't think I'm getting either console. There you go. Xbox ain't making games till they finish the acquisitions. Right. They gotta be kicking themselves about Spider-Man? Sure, I guess. They're making $300 million a month. I mean, I don't know how to. They're making money hand over fist. They're making $300 million a month doing absolutely nothing by putting subpar games on Game Pass and a couple of good games on Game Pass and old awesome games on Game Pass, and they're making $300 million. and if you don't have Game Pass, you're still buying the games for full price, and they're digital. And if you don't have Game Pass and you don't want the new games, there's plenty of indie games you can buy on Game Pass. Right? I mean, I don't think they're losing. For our sake, in the eyes of the beholder of the gamers, if you're just looking at it as a gaming system, then sure, Xbox is behind times for exclusives. Right? But if you're looking at it as a business, I don't think they're losing at all. I mean, one of the reasons they're buying out Activision right now is because of the mobile market. They're trying to get into the sales of mobile gaming. Hence why now Google and them are saying, hold on a second, we're interested in why they're doing this. We think it'll shake the market. No shit. Because Google's afraid that once Microsoft gets in the mobile market, the mobile games that make money on Google won't be in the Google store anymore. Right? Xbox is not worried about Sony. Xbox is worried about Amazon and Google. That's what Phil Spencer said over a year ago. This is why they're not even playing the same game anymore. They won't get Activision. It's being blocked in too many groups. They'll get it. And if they don't get it, they'll just grab another company. And if they don't get the next company, they'll get the next company. You see what I'm saying? If they keep making rules to block Microsoft, so let's just say this. Okay, Activision doesn't get bought out. So what do? Do they break up Activision so they can sell it? Do they only sell off a piece? Let's say Microsoft only takes Zynga and gets the mobile market of it. Okay, so now Blizzard Activision's only in bits and pieces. So now Activision's being sold off, Blizzard's being sold off. So what? They're going to pay for other people to go into the thing? Well, how's that going to work for the market? Right? The problem what they're stating right now is Microsoft's too big and they're not allowed to get any bigger. That's the way they're proposing the question to stop them. Well, they can't get it because then they'll have the market. Well, right now the market's being won by Sony in one market, and the other market it's being sold by Google for mobile. For the other markets being sold by, so Xbox is not number one in any of the markets. So when they purchase this, now they get to become number one in the streaming service that's just being made. And obviously, Sony's in the streaming service now. Amazon's in the streaming service now. Google was in the streaming service now. So these are just companies bickering at each other going, well, it's not fair because if he gets this, then I won't be in first. I have no I have no connection to these conglomerate companies, right? It's all going to happen regardless in some way, shape, or form. They're going to get it one way or another. We were just talking yesterday. Who do we think the next person is going to be bought out? We're like, well, it could be EA. I'm like, EA is in bed with them already. Why would they want to buy EA? Here's a perfect example. Great. They don't get Activision. They say, great, we'll take EA instead. We buy EA. Okay? Well, now they'll be like, well, you can't get EA because now they're the only sports games. I have an idea. Here's a great idea. Go make a fucking game. Go make a sports game. Go make a first-person shooter game. Go make a battle arena game. Okay? The problem is they don't want Microsoft, and this is not me defending Microsoft in any way, shape, or form, but the other companies don't want Microsoft to take games that are already established and then just buy to be a part of the industry. They want them to go make their own stuff, right? They want them to go buy developers and not publishers, right? The biggest problem here is Bethesda, okay, when they said they weren't going to have the exclusive, all of a sudden they made it exclusive, but it's not exclusive because it's still on PC and it's still on Xbox. But now they're like, well, it's going to be behind the Microsoft wall. Well, it's not. You could buy Starfield on Steam, okay? You can stream it on your Samsung television through Xbox, right? There's other ways to play the game. It's not just here. So when they say they're exclusive to Microsoft. They're not exclusive to the platform. Like, there's other platforms that are doing it. Meanwhile, Sony says, well, we don't want this to happen. Meanwhile, they have the number one selling single-player game with God of War. They have the number one superhero game with Spider-Man. They have Final Fantasy, which is a number one selling MMO, right? But that's okay, right? That's okay. It's like, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander, right? So everyone that has like a fan base of, oh, well, Sony's the good guys and Microsoft's the bad guys, or Microsoft's the good guys and Sony's the bad guys, they're all fucking bad guys. They're all bad companies. They're all doing stuff that needs for them to survive. Companies need to survive. They need to build up. They have to sustain stuff, and if they don't sustain, they have to keep growing. When they keep growing, they have to eat something, and when they eat something to keep alive, that's what these guys do, right? It's so stupid. They buy one company, it's not good, but they buy a company, it's fine. I mean, heck, if Microsoft wants the lawsuit developer, let them have it. I can't remember the last time Blizzard wasn't in a lawsuit. Yeah, they've been in lawsuits for years. Exactly. Remember when it was time to get Sony said, oh, Starfield is Xbox exclusive. Cool. If we make a different, better space game, I don't know what. Here's the thing. I guarantee you that Sony right now is trying to picture, I mean, they're doing exclusive deals with in-game content for years. Forspoken's cut off for 2 years, right? For what? Because it's a brand new game and it's not an established thing. They're like, oh, it's fine. Fine. It's just a small little game. It's all for 2 years exclusive, and then it comes out on other platforms, right? Oh, Hogwarts Legacy has a shop and a thing in there for 1 year title. Destiny had a whole 2 year exclusive with a dungeon or whatever it was. It's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous to me. To me, there are things in the way of Microsoft, but they're just prolonging. That's all this is. They're just prolonging stuff so the other companies can catch up to Microsoft. The difference between $1 trillion company and $1 billion company is a hell of a lot of billions. No, Forspoken's on PC as well. Yeah, the companies don't care about you. They're trying to use the public's opinion to sway certain things, right? They don't care, right? Sony wants to get somebody so they can make more money. Microsoft wants to get somebody so they can make more money. That's the game. That's the game. Just sit back, relax, and watch the big guys fight. It's like watching Godzilla and King Kong battle each other. And then all of a sudden Rodan comes in. And then Mothra comes in. That's what it is. We're the city. They're the monsters. There's going to be casualties. Okay? We're not rooting for Godzilla to win. Just get the hell off our city. You know what I mean? Just get out the city. You're crushing the city. I'll always pick PlayStation over Xbox, but if I could afford to get both, I would absolutely. I think both systems have great draws, and if you could also choose to do it on a PlayStation 5, all these companies care about is their bottom line. That's it, Cybersword. That's it. I don't have a horse in the race. I have a PlayStation. I have an Xbox. I have a Nintendo. I have whatever system that I feel like. And if I don't have it, I save up to buy it, right? There has to be enough games to come out for me to go. I didn't get a PlayStation 4. Okay, I didn't get the PlayStation 4 until like 2, 3, 4 years after it came out. I got it in 2020. When did PlayStation 4 come out? PlayStation 4 came out in 2013. I got mine in 2018 or 2019. Right? Like, you see what I'm saying? I don't need to get anything right off the bat. So in this Godzilla scenario, who's king? Because that sucks. We need to. That it doesn't matter who it is. 1876. What's 1876? Water. You talk about the game? Was there a game 1876? Actually, I think there was a game 1876. Oh, when PlayStation came out. You know what I mean, though? Like, I don't need the systems right away. Look, Tencent's buying up people left and right. No one's stopping them. Microsoft is trying to buy Activision Blizzard, and Sony made it about Call of Duty. I said it's not about Call of Duty. It's about the mobile market is who it's about. Right? They were just trying to get the mobile market. That's the big seller. All of a sudden, Google's like, hold up, wait a minute. The mobile market's in our store. So they have a problem with it now. NVIDIA's just putting their face in there and going, hey, we're worried too because of our streaming stuff. Get out of here on NVIDIA. No one cares about you. Just make your graphic cards and move on. Okay? There's so much bullshit that they have to like go through. Meanwhile, they're like, all right, we can hold them together for a good 2 years. While we're doing this, we're going to make a streaming service. While we're doing this, we're going to make a mobile game. While we're doing this, right? If they can get an extra 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. In a perfect world, we wouldn't even have exclusives. Yeah, we're always going to have exclusives. We're always going to have exclusives. When it's all said and done, if they own the company or don't own the company, who's to say that Activision doesn't go, you know what? Microsoft just gave us, instead of paying $69 billion to own the company, what about if they gave them $5 billion to get exclusive rights to Call of Duty for the next 5 years? You see what I'm saying? Right? Whatever that number is, Microsoft can go, what did you need? We can't buy you, so we'll rent you for the next 10 years, right? They'll do an EA with the NFL or with FIFA. They'll get the exclusive rights if they wanted it. That's all they have to do. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny that the sale doesn't go through and then Sony buys Call of Duty so they have an exclusive right for the next 2, 3 years or something like that? I would just laugh. I would laugh like, says one company doesn't want to have it so they can get it. I saw a TikTok last night about the why Skull and Bones is being canceled. And it's because of the tax breaks they got in Singapore. So the game needs to be released because of the legal reasons. So they're just literally releasing it just to, so it's an obligation game, basically, is what it is. I mean, I would put Spider-Man on Friends Xbox. I want everyone to enjoy the good games. Yeah, but you can get Spider-Man on the PC now, right? PlayStation sees the light. Oh, great. We'll look at that. I'll look at that. I just think it's weird that most of the games I enjoy are largely exclusive anyways. I mean, look at Metro. I love the series, and I'm glad it's on everything. If they're going to be prime variants of Transformers Reactivate, then I can see them upgrading Bumblebee to Goldbug, Megatron to Galvatron, Hot Rod to Rodimus Prime, and Soundwave to Sound Blaster. Sure. They already showed. I have a video that shows. I guess about a month ago. I love how these other YouTubers. So I got my information from. Oh God, I forget his name now. Oh God, I forget his name. Robo Gamer 1 HD, right? And then I also got it from DP Luna. Okay, these two guys broke the game super early. Okay, they were on the finger on the pulse, right? I was directly right behind them, sending the news stories out there, making videos, and now here we are a month later. All these other people are going, "Hey, brand new screenshots from Transformers." I'm like, where were you a month ago, right? All these other content creators are now wiping the crust out of their eye, going, "Oh, brand new," and their videos get 10 times more views, but I just laugh about it. I'm like, that's not new. It's already out here a month and a half ago. But yeah, in my videos we show Galvatron. We show Galvatron's picture up in the corner. Okay, we show different pictures that these two guys leaked and put out. We went over it and showed it, right? I didn't break anything. I didn't know anybody. These two YouTubers leaked all the stuff ahead of time. I've been in contact with both of them and showed the stuff right after they showed the stuff. My friend refuses to do PC gaming. I'm not a fan either, but I used to do some mostly for Warhammer 4K games and just refuse to do it. Yeah, well, it's hard for PC because PC games, look, an Xbox, you can get an Xbox Series S for like $250, $300, right? And it runs the games. Then you can go up to like the $500, $600 range, get an Xbox X or a PlayStation. Or you can go up to $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, $2,000, $5,000 computer where you can get ultra stuff. And obviously, that's out of the price range for a lot of people, right? And then you got to update, then you got to do the drivers, then you got to do the monitor, and you got to do a whole bunch of stuff, right? So a lot of people can't afford PCs, you know? But that's like the high-end thing. That's the high-end thing. It's a status symbol. They're pretty much the best people to go for information for Transformers Reactivate, in my opinion. Absolutely, Slayer. The Robo One Gamer HD and DP Luna they should be the main sources. They should get the credit that they have. I just think it's funny that Luna could put a video out. He gets like 200 views on his video, and he's the freaking source. And then someone else puts a video out, and they get 9,000, 15,000 views, 27,000 views for the exact same information that was put out by the other person. And then those people that are putting out the stuff don't give any credit to the two people that are actually putting out the stuff, right? Not in my videos, my friend. In my videos, I give credit to people where I get the credit from, where I get the information from. I mean, there are people that say, "Oh, look, it's a new game. It's like 7 years old game. It's a new to them, not everyone." I get it, right? I know myself personally. All I want to do is put the disc in, and okay, the game is not hacked with 500 different settings. Yeah, I like console. It's just simple to sit down, turn it on, and then play a game, right? Every time I turn on, I'll be honest with you. Every time I turn my PlayStation on, I have to download and then upload. Every time I turn Xbox on, it works. Every time I turn my PlayStation on, there's always an update. Always. Every time I turn my PC on for a game, oh, there's a driver update. I want to play this game. Oh, there's a driver update. Oh, you want to play this game? There's an update. I'm like, holy Christ. Dog Eat Dog World? Sure. But like that's good though? Means they keep trying to improve it. It's a look. You're telling me that the PC gamer base, the people that revolted from Steam to Epic, is just a freaking little icon on your desktop, and people were like, "I ain't paying for Epic. I'm not going to Epic's game launcher." Don't tell me that it's a good thing, okay, comic, because people revolted when they have to just take their mouse and go like 2 centimeters down and then push the next launcher, and that's too much for them. But they're okay of updating all the time in their drivers. They have updates on the Xbox and PC or PlayStation, but it's just different. I don't have to worry about bugs or hacks or anything. Do you like horror games? No, I don't. I don't play any horror games. Not because I'm like scared or anything. They're just shit to me. All of them. The horror games are like horror movies to me. They're like comedies. I don't have a thing where I'm like, oh, I don't get that. You have to keep me off guard completely. And with horror games and horror movies, I'm always on guard. So I can never release myself to be like, okay. Like, I was never scared for any when I was a kid. Like, Poltergeist scared me. Freddy Krueger scared me in the beginning. Jason never scared me. Halloween never scared me. Like, I just looked at him. I was like, yeah, okay, great. I laugh at him. My friend refuses to download the Epic one. And it's just funny to me. It's the same screen. It's just here or here. All my games are here on this, and then here there's a couple games here. But it's like I'm not. It's not like you're getting up off your chair and hitting the power button on a different system. See, I use Steam and Epic. I think those people thinking that they're making differences standing up for something. Using Steam or Epic is like playing Xbox or PlayStation. That's it. The exact same thing. The exact same thing. I want one launcher that gets all the library. Don't they have one? Didn't GOG create one where you get one launcher? Well, you know what's scary? I watched the updated version of it in in theaters after I ate an edible, and that, my friend, was amazing. Were you scared, or was it amazing because you pissed yourself or something? I get it. I'm a huge wuss. This is why I love horror. I theorize if you don't scare easy, it's not a good genre. Yeah, to me, it's more of a comedy. I enjoy watching some horrors because I think it's just stupid. Like, the things they do in a horror flick are just stupid. I filmed a lot of horror films. I filmed a lot of like independent horror films and stuff like that, like low budget ones. The one I hate the most is the Xbox one when playing EA games. Yeah, yeah. Everyone has their launcher. Yeah, it's stupid. Blizzard, I hate every time I open up my computer, Blizzard launchers, it keeps asking me, you gotta update. You gotta update. Shut up, Blizzard. I can't wait to get bought out by Microsoft so I don't have to go in through your goddamn launcher anymore. That's why I want Blizzard to be bought by Microsoft, so I don't have to go through their launcher anymore. Goes back to the whole boycotting thing. People go, "Oh, doing this will make a difference. It won't change anything." Well, for certain things, right? Like, if people are taking your rights away, if you boycott something or do something, that can make a difference. But if you're boycotting a video game with a $20 billion industry, and there's new people playing games all the time, and you playing that game or not playing that game is not going to make any difference. You know what I mean? You'll be wrong. Xbox is just launching the Blizzard one. No. Then your Xbox turns to the Blizzard launcher, like the Xbox itself. Oh God. Then I would go to PlayStation. Then I would go to PlayStation. So the future of gaming, I could yell at my screen, because Sony's future is so bright. Sony's future looks so bright, where the games will be playing themselves. The AI will call someone to help the AI help play themselves, and I'll have to shout out at my computer screen to end the commercials. It's gonna be a wonderful day for gaming. I mean, people boycotted D&D by canceling the subscriptions of Wizards of the Coast. Took it back. Well, that's a huge, because that's a very niche market, right? It's a huge market, but that's a niche market. So when everybody that's your fan base decides to get on board with each other, right? So if you have 10 million people playing D&D, okay, it's going to be harder to boycott if 40,000 people of the 10 million. But if your player base of that is, let's say, 100,000 people that are just diehard D&D fans, and 40,000 of that is hidden, you're gonna be like, yeah, that's a big chunk of your market, right? Look at Hogwarts, my friend. Was boycotted Hogwarts until told him, Rowling already got her money, right, and went in and pre-ordered it the same day. Yeah, the wheel's too big for certain things to boycott. Oh, I didn't say it's chump change, sorry. I just said it's the amount of people that play video games is not the same amount of people that play D&D role-playing games. You see what I'm saying? Sure, there's a huge market for it, but it's also a niche market. Tabletop right now. Okay, D&D tabletop players is 3.2 million. D&D 4E 1.2 million, and AD&D is 0.8 million. So it's 13. Wait, one more. Hold on. Let me read this. That's 2018. Oh, and D&D 5e, they missed the top one. So D&D 5e is 9.5 million people. D&D 3.5 is 3.2 million people. D&D 4e is 1.2 million people, and AD&D is 0.8 million, 800,000. So it's 13.7 million. Okay, 13.7 million that play tabletop D&D players. It's a big chunk of people. Okay, now obviously there's overlap there, right? There's overlap in the 9 million. I'm assuming that the people that play D&D 5e play 3.5 and play 4e and so on and so forth. Okay. Let's see. Video game player base. List of most played video games on player count. Wikipedia. No. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So, video gamers worldwide are 3.3 billion. D&Ders are 13.2 million. You see what I'm saying? As someone who watches only WWE and AEW and doesn't like sports, even I can admit that the holy shit, this NFL makes a crap ton of money and nothing will ever change it. Me saying I hate NFL won't change anything. It just instead don't watch it. Sure. But if a big chunk of people don't watching NFL, then it could make a change. But there's a lot of people. And what that cusp of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's a huge difference of 13.7 million. It's a tabletop game. It's board games. You know what I mean? I totally understand. Obviously, that it's a niche group, and the people that are like, "Whoa, you're taking something away from us," they're going to boycott the group that's doing it. How many companies? How many companies that make D&D, right? Wizard of Coast is the largest company, but there's other companies that all getting together now to saying, "Hey, if you're going to do this, we'll just do our own type of stuff." There's plenty of other video game companies, right? There's 3 billion people playing video games. So do you think if the 1% of 1%ers say they're going to boycott Hogwarts Legacy, that's going to do anything? 3 billion people don't own consoles? Correct. And 13.7 million people don't own the D&D books. But they play D&D. Dude who wrote Marvel's Multiverse, TTRPG, said Wizards doesn't understand their players, and worse, they don't even try. Yeah. Look, I'm not saying anything that D&D is not a big thing. I'm just saying that the player base can shift and change what's going on because it's a smaller niche community than it is for video games. There'll be more people that buy Hogwarts Legacy. The amount of people that'll buy Hogwarts Legacy is the amount of people that play D&D. 13.7 million. My guess is between 12 and 15 million people will buy Hogwarts Legacy. Buying a book doesn't make you a player. And if you count a book sales as a player, no, that's not what I'm saying, Sarge. Okay. What I'm saying is you're saying they don't own a console. So to own a console, you have to, that's a gamer, right? That's that you said. I said there's that many gamers. You said that they don't own all consoles. There's mobile gamers, there's console gamers, there's mobile Nintendo gamers. They're all counted as the same. I was a D&D player. Am I counted in this? No, I'm not. Right? There's many people that moved on and don't play D&D anymore. These are people that actually play the game, meaning one person buys a book, 6 people sit down and play the game. There's 13.7 million people. It's still a small niche community. That's my point. It's a small niche community. If I show up to my local comic store and I'm playing a game of D&D, I can get my 5 friends to show up, right? There's tons of people playing Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, but there's only a small group of people in that shop that's playing D&D at that moment or in their house. Obviously, through the internet now, people can play games through tabletop gaming of the app, over your phone, over Zoom, over everything. There's a lot more people playing the game, so it's exploded in the sense of D&D, but it's still a small niche community. So they're saying there's 3 billion people who play games, but yes, there are not 3 billion gamers. Okay, but then it would be the same thing of saying that there's 13.7 million D&D players, but there's not 13.7 million owners of D&D. I don't think they're counting people that just touch the game. They're like each week play, purchase, do something with the game. I would assume. I don't know how they're counting them. Look at me at the first Hogwarts. Anything I've ever bought. Love Hogwarts lore. Found Hogwarts boring. Hogwarts looks good, and you have nonstop Harry Potter fans looking into it. Oh, absolutely. I played D&D with my friends in Puerto Rico. Yeah, I'm saying it's grown. I don't think it was 13 million people, 10 years ago. It's become huge since Critical Role and them all did the stuff. People like role playing. People love playing D&D. It's getting bigger and bigger. Again, the whole point of my thing is if they wanted to boycott something and there's one maker doing all of this stuff and the community wants to speak up, they can make a change in that community because it's a small niche community. Do you watch sports or are you a sports fan? Big difference. Difference is money and time spent. Sure, but if you watch sports, you're making sports money. Between ad revenue, if you're buying a jersey, if you're just sitting next to me on the couch, you're still supporting the sport. So if 10 people are in a room and 4 people are playing D&D, are the other 6 people D&D players if they're just hanging out watching? Same thing. Am I a D&D player because I'm watching Critical Role? Or am I only a D&D player because I'm playing the game with them? My favorite has been the comparison of D&D having the group of randoms join together to fight a bad guy, and the wizards made that IRL. Right, right. They're literally role playing, fighting the badass dragon, and they're all throwing crits right now. They're all throwing their dice like, eat this, Wizards of the Coast. Someone should make that into a campaign. Somebody should make that into a campaign. We're on a tangent over here. Did they buy all the books? Did they buy any of all the merchandise? Throwing numbers around to make the group bigger, then it doesn't make it true. Statement is all I'm saying. And all I'm saying is my statement is a small niche group of players is what I said. Compared to the other industries, D&D is a small niche group. What I said. Oh, of course. Of course. You could do it. There's so many different genres of them doing what they want, but they're all considered D&D, right? D&D is like if someone says do you want a tissue or Kleenex? Kleenex is a brand, but it's known as tissues now. You know what I mean? Like D&D is that, like if you play that type of game, it's a D&D. Obviously, it's a brand of Dungeons and Dragons, but a lot of those companies are all underneath that same type of umbrella. That's what I'm saying, Sarge. So if smaller, meaning if 100,000 people of a million are vocal, they're gonna make changes because it's majority of their, not majority, but a crap ton of people that are like, yeah, I'm not doing that. They're like, well, what are we gonna do? We're the only person that makes this type of stuff. It would be different if there was other conglomerates that made this stuff and they all got together, right? But even then, it would still backfire on them because it's in your brain. Dungeons and Dragons is in your imagination. You can literally, you don't even need their books. You can literally make it up on the fly if you wanted to. All right, guys, you got a piece of paper. All right, put on the sheet. Write down your numbers. Write down your numbers, what you want. What are you, an elf? Okay, great. All right, I'm going to use this quarter as my knight. All right, I'm going to use this Mold Control as my elf, right? All that stuff that is just to live in the moment of the thing, right? They don't need them at all in any way, shape, or form. It's such a stupid thing to do that Wizards of the Coast is doing with the open gaming license. Right, you're talking about theater of the mind type of playing. Yeah. Tabletop RPG and D&D aren't the same thing. Yes and no. Obviously, I understand Dungeons and Dragons' stats and things, and you're going through, and there's a whole story involved in it. And the tabletop RPG is there's battles going on, and the different type of thing. They're both underneath the genre of like that, though, right? You're fantasizing about being like Captain America, and you're going through your thing, or you know what I mean. I understand that. I understand that all D&D and TOT isn't D&D. I understand that, but what I'm saying is it's still tossed under the same type of genre for the general public, right? If you play certain things, you're like, oh, is that like D&D? You'd be like, yeah, sort of. I take my son to the comic book store and he watches people play the tabletops. He watches people play the D&D. He's interested in it. He's starting to ask questions. I was thinking about getting the what's that one that's made by it's the board game meant for kids. It's Easy Dungeons and Dragons. I forget what it's called. Very popular. And I can't think of it. My brain is fried. You're making me think of, and I love it, when Bart tells comic book guy, none of this ever really happened. Comic book guy, get out of my store. Yeah. What's that goddamn buy hero quest for your son? That's the gateway drug. What is the one? It's Munchkin. I think it's Munchkin something. Munchkin game is Munchkin. Yeah. Yeah. That's like the first walk. Munchkin. Yeah, is that what it is? Munchkin quest. That's like the first things like to get into that type of stuff. Basically, Wizards is being a comic book guy unless you're using my store and you're not a real comic book fan. Is it called Munchkin? I think it's just called Munchkin. I don't know if it's Munchkin Quest. I think it's just called Munchkin. Yeah, this is it right here. They have a bunch of them. Where it's like a board game, right? They have it with Marvel. They have with Rick and Morty. They have different ones. Warhammer. Yeah, that's it. That's like a tabletop / D&D, like real easy. The cards are out. You're making the story for you type of thing. I almost had 20 years of friendship end over curse. Oh, really? That's like a Monopoly. We don't play Monopoly in our family. Yeah, we don't play Monopoly. What was another game that we never played? We don't play because it just brings turmoil every time we play it. I forget what it is. What time is it? 12:15 almost? 12:12. All right. Time for me to go. Good conversation this morning. Yeah, Risk is another one. Yeah. Risk ends friendships as well. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tonight, actually. We're going to be playing some Battlefield 2042 tonight over on 30 Plays right here on this channel. We'll be back tomorrow morning for more Daily Grind to talk about another topic. I do appreciate the topic today was about Suicide Squads in the very beginning. If you guys missed any of that part of the first 17 to 30 minutes, I go over what it is, and then we talk about it with chat, and then we kind of get into other topics as we go. I do appreciate your time coming out here. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, hit that like button. It helps us out a lot. And like I said, we'll if you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can become a member as low as $4.99. And we're live 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We also do live streams at night, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then we also have a podcast, and we do uploads as well. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.